The Death Core of Krieg are rendered in beautiful plastic, and I'd argue this might be one of the single best releases for the Astra Militarum that Games Workshop have ever done. Hello and welcome back to Warspecs Tactics. Fix your bayonets and grab your entrenching tools, because today we have some frankly amazing new Death Core of Krieg miniatures, not only spectacularly reimagined in plastic, but also being one of the single most flexible kits that Games Workshop have released for the Imperial Guard ever. This of course comes from Games Workshop's recent Warzone Octarius preview, where they gave us the good news that these guys are going to be coming, initially fighting some commandos, but then available separately. I'm sure that the vast majority of people watching are aware exactly what the Death Corps of Krieg are, but for those who aren't quite so familiar, they're essentially a Forge World regiment. The guys who make the fancy resin models, they came out in previous campaign supplements for them in the Siege of Vrax, and are essentially an Imperial Guard regiment kind of inspired by World War I Germans, incredibly dour and resolute, willing to sacrifice themselves for the cause no matter what, and clad in their stereotypical gas masks, which is just a pretty awesome feel for the 41st millennium. It really bigs up the Imperial Guard trope of early 20th century infantry fighting against a galaxy of alien horrors. Despite being incredibly expensive from Forge World, they remain a firm fan favourite, and Plastic Krieger Guardsman has been on the bucket list of quite a lot of Imperial Guard players, though largely dismissed as something that would just never happen. So these guys are initially going to be coming out in the Kill Team Octarius box set for the new edition of Kill Team. The previous box was £95 or around $180, though that was a few years back, and Games Workshop being Games Workshop, it might be a little bit more than that for this new release. We'll hopefully cover that box tomorrow. It does mean that they'll be packaged alongside a bunch of Orc Terrain and New Orc Commandos, but it does mean that the Kriegsmen won't be particularly easy to get for a while. Maybe the easiest way, if you do want multiple kits of them, would be to look second hand for people reselling them on eBay. There's going to be a lot of people who just want part of this box but not all of it, so the people who want the Orc stuff I'm sure will be reselling the Kriegsmen online. Unfortunately, this Octarius box is only going to be available temporarily. They say they've made loads of stock and they didn't sell out of the Age of Sigmar Dominion thing when that came out, so hopefully there will be enough to satisfy demand, but even if this does sell out fully, then the kit will be available separately at a later date. The Kill Team Pariah Nexus kits dropped fairly soon after the box set came out, the much anticipated Heavy Intercessors and the Flayed ones, so to be honest I think it might be well worth exercising a bit of patience, wait for Games Workshop to sell the kit separately, and probably avoid paying any sort of scalper prices. When they do get released, hopefully they'll be fairly similar in price to the recent Cadian kit, which it does bear kind of similarities to. The Cadians got augmented with a whole bunch of extra options and things, all the special weapons and a bunch of head swaps, so hopefully it might be somewhere on par with that. Again though, I wouldn't be surprised if Games Workshop does charge a bit of a premium for these. The kit does seem a little bit more generous, you get some fun extras in there such as the Kill Team Specialist upgrades, which we'll go through in a second. The reason I'm such a fan of it though, is that the kit does seem very generous indeed for a basic Guard infantry box. I was half expecting these to all just be very generic monopose models, really cool as collector's pieces, but nothing that's actually too useful for Guard collectors. But as it's a full multi-part set, you could easily use it alongside other kits to maybe kit bash command squads, or give vehicle crew Krieg heads, make yourself some own custom officers, or all manner of other things. So let's look at the models themselves then. The kit is a 10-man kit, alongside one base that can mount a medic bag for them, all clad in the standard Kriegsman trench coats and gas masks. There aren't any bear heads at all I don't think, and they're carrying their unique pattern of lasgun, which looks really different and really quite interesting compared with some of the Cadian and Kasachan ones. It looks like they can stow their lasgun behind their right shoulder if they need to, and they've got a ton of options for augmenting the unit. You can see the medic one here, they've got some nice thin needle-like bayonets, and on the top right you can see a Vox operator, and he seems to be reading out some things from a nice code book there, and again done in a very different style to the Cadian and Kasachan ones that we're used to. I really love the way that they're giving another Imperial Guard regiment a new lease of life, and this really will help make the Astra Militarum a more diverse force with different regiments, rather than just seeing the same ones over and over again. Here are the other half of the models. Again, the kit has lots of options here, so you aren't just limited to these poses. I like the guy with the mace-like close combat weapon, again that has definite World War I vibes. There's the guy with the detonator that we saw in that awesome animated trailer, and of course the squad sergeant who has the option of being armed with different combat weapons, including this fancy power sword. In the stream they did talk a fair bit about the actual kit itself. Apparently we're going to be able to build these either as standard guardsmen, all armed with lasguns, and it does seem that they will have all the special weapon options included in the kit. There are options for melter guns, plasma guns, sniper rifles, and all of the sergeant options, including bolt pistols, and I'm sure Krieg fans will be pleased to learn that there are certainly shovels included. Where would a Krieg player be without a nice entrenching tool with which to deliver the Emperor's wrath to the skull of a foul Xenos or heretic? The only thing that you don't get are options for heavy weapons and things, though that isn't exactly a unique problem to this kit. It's the same for any Imperial Guard infantry kit, so you might need to be a bit creative with those, maybe combine the spare heads and gas masks that you get with perhaps a Cadian kit. Again, Bill hats off for giving us the full amount of options rather than just a monopose kit of Kriegers as it could have very easily been, but it gets even better than that. The reason is that this kit has been designed with Kill Team in mind, so you get some fun and flavourful extras to upgrade certain other models. You can just build an entire squad of lasgunners, or we can upgrade them to these various specialists. Here's a Zealot veteran. He'd certainly fit in as a standard guardsman, maybe a little bit more at home as a veteran perhaps, but a nice addition of his Imperial Primer and Imperial Rosary beads there. There's this guy who's a hardened veteran. In the midst of changing the magazine on his lasgun, he's got a bionic arm in his left hand, and one detail that I didn't see but they pointed out throughout the stream is that you can actually see the way that the cloth falls over his bionic arm parts. You can see the big circular joint where his elbow should be, poking out through the cloth. Really well thought through, and that along with all his medals that he's got pinned to his lapel, give him the feel that he's already been through several campaigns. There's then this medic veteran here, which had the Medicaid kits that appeared in a rumour engine preview a little while back, and while that will be useful for kill team and stuff, I really quite like the idea of this guy fitting in a Krieg command squad. If medics do somehow become one of the better options in the new Guard Codex, then this guy's just the perfect model to represent that. I'm not sure if there'll be any rules for that individual base Medicaid kit there itself. It would be quite cool though if Games Workshop does think about that when they write the rules for 40k. Maybe some kind of once per game extra healing action. So overall, I think that Games Workshop really has done a fantastic job with this kit. It's not just getting there to what people would have expected, but it's going above and beyond. And this could easily be a central kit at the heart of a Guard army, where you use the bits in it to make an entire regiment of Kriegsmen, combined with the already existing Imperial Guard range. Of course, there is already the option of the already existent Forge World Krieg models to go alongside it. Between their Death Riders, Breaching Drills and Engineer teams, there's really quite a lot of options for expanding the army that way, if you are willing to shell out for Forge World prices. Let me know what you think then. I look forward to having a read of the comments. Feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics, where I'll hopefully be trying to get out a video on the other previews tomorrow, including a full video on these new Orc Commandos and the Kill Team box, and I'll most certainly keep up with any changes for the Imperial Guard going forward when we do get a new codex. Finally, if you have been enjoying the videos on the channel, I would just like to mention one way to help support it if you'd like to, and that's my Element Games affiliate link, which is down in the video description. Making all these videos does take a fair amount of time, and if you are enjoying regularly, any support is enormously appreciated. If you were thinking about buying in any 40k models, Element Games is a discount retailer based in the UK. They usually give 10 to 20% off Games Workshop's miniatures, and if you click on the link before buying anything through it, a small amount also goes to help support Auspex Tactics without costing you any more whatsoever. Could just be something to think of if you are thinking about buying something anyway, and ordering in some models online. For people in the USA and Canada, there is also an Amazon affiliate link down in the video description. Again, if you click on that before ordering anything whatsoever, a small amount goes to help support the channel without costing you any more. In any case, a massive thank you for listening. Really exciting to be able to see such a cool new kit, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.